Hey, what's going on, guys? It is your boy here, of course, the combat consultant, and we got to break down tactically, of course, Justin Gaethje and Max Holloway fighting at UFC 300 for that BMF belt. Let's get into it. So in preparation for this video, I watched two of both of these fighters' most recent fights, Justin Gaethje against Rafael Fiziev, and then the second fight he had against Dustin Poirier, which was for the BMF belt, and then I watched Max Holloway versus the Korean Zombie and Arnold Allen, and I was able to glean a lot of what I think makes this fight unique and what goes into both of these men having a shot at winning this thing. Because while I do believe that Justin Gaethje serves a much better chance at winning this fight, I don't want to necessarily count out Max Holloway either. I think Max is one of those guys that has really, really good fundamentals. You see that in the way that he fights, right? Even when he gets wild, his fundamentals are still intact, and that's not something you see a lot in fighting in general. Of course, a lot of guys in the pros are going to have the fundamentals down pat. There are definitely some exceptions to the rule. Guys that have a lot of power, like a Francis Ngannou, really reined in on their technicality. So you see when they don't have to kind of rely on it as heavily, they won't kind of work on that part of their game. But for Max Holloway, you get the sense that not only has he worked on his fundamentals, but he's really honed down on applying them in real fight situations. In these last two fights that I watched from him, he's so succinct at cutting angles, at utilizing his footwork, at creating and controlling a pace that works for him in a fight. I think on paper, Max Holloway will have the speed and the technicality advantage in this fight. From everything I've seen, he'll kind of take his time, find his way into a fight, right, and pick his opponents apart slowly. Justin Gaethje has done that as well, but I think Gaethje is much more of a threat early than Max Holloway will be. I talked about the ways that Holloway could win this fight, and I don't see it coming by finish, especially since he's fighting up a weight class. I think the only way he could relatively get a win here is perhaps via submission, or if he takes his fight to the distance. I could see him grinding Justin Gaethje out over 5 rounds, staying at distance, pumping the jab, hitting him with combinations. There is one important thing to mention, though, and that's that sometimes both these guys are there to be hit. And that leads me kind of into the second part of what I wanted to talk about here. Yes, Max Holloway is a guy that is very mobile and can afford to be mobile because he has the technicality, he has the combinations, the boxing, the kickboxing, and the ground game to back himself up. But I've seen in some of his past fights that there are junctures in which he is there to be hit. And that's going to happen in every fight, and Gaethje does that himself, right? Gaethje is a guy that is a lot less mobile, but will kind of sit in on shots, and he'll be pumping a big jab, right? He'll sit in on a big winging hook or an overhand, and he'll blast you. Max Holloway will do the same, but he'll be a little bit more light on his feet, right? So he'll be moving around the outside, and he'll kind of commit with a jab. He's not just throwing a naked strike when he gets into boxing range into the pocket. He's coming in with a 1-2. He's hiding his big shot behind something. That's the main difference I noticed between these two guys, but the point is that both of them are there to be hit at points in a fight. Do I think Gaethje's going to struggle with the mobility of Max? Absolutely. But I call back into memory the Rafael Fiziev fight. I think once Gaethje gets a read, and he's very good at not letting his dance partner in there fight at a pace or a rhythm that they're comfortable with. He's very good at kind of just keeping the fight simple, right? He's going to make you come to him, and he's going to get himself into a position to the best of his power where he can throw those power shots. I saw that in the Rafael Fiziev fight, and I saw that in the second Dustin Poirier fight. He likes to stay on the back foot now more than he did earlier in his career. And so part of me wonders, if Max Holloway is going to play that game with him. And if Max Holloway is there to be hit, is Justin Gaethje going to successfully be able to get his boxing off while Holloway is still in front of him? Again, early I think Gaethje's going to struggle with that, but if Gaethje wins, I think this will be via finish, because Gaethje, when he's able to catch you with one of those big shots, I bring back into your memory the second Dustin Poirier fight. I bring back into your memory the James Vick finish, the Edson Barboza finish, right? When he's able to find that perfect shot that he gets right on the dot, you're going to sleep. There's no two ways about it. Holloway has really good defense, but I think for this fight, we should be focusing on those maybe like 6 to 8 different junctures in a fight where you see Holloway get caught flush. You can't, and I don't think any professional fighter can go a fight without getting tagged big. And I just think that that's going to be the difference maker here, right? And you combine that, Gaethje has thunderous, crippling, debilitating leg kicks. calf kicks that he loves to throw. I think the more that Gaethje looks to land those and does land those, that's going to take an effect as this fight goes on. I don't see Holloway without the mobility being able, I don't think he wants to play that game where he's just sitting and trading in the pocket with Gaethje. I think that's a game that he's going to lose 9 times out of 10, and I think that's going to be a game that Gaethje forces him to play against his own will. Maybe we'll see wrestling from Gaethje. I doubt it. I don't think that, considering the BMF title that's on the line and considering the stage that these two guys are on and considering just how both of them fight, I don't think we're going to see much wrestling, but I would be interested to see how this pans out if this fight went to the floor. I don't want to have the normie pick, but this fight presents a lot of challenges to Justin Gaethje on a fundamental level. It does. One way I could see Holloway addressing that forward movement and the big shots coming from Gaethje is maybe just throwing short, intercepting shots in between. Maybe he keeps a good jab. Maybe he finds that home for the cross, as he has done again in past fights. But while it's not a snowball's chance in hell for Max Holloway, I think the way that he gets it done, or he would be able to get it done, would require him to be perfect over 25 minutes. And you can't ever be perfect over 25 minutes unless you find that flow state. And it's a flow state he's found before against Calvin Kattar. If you can find a flow state like that, sure, maybe he has a chance. But I just, considering everything that's going against him, it's not a weight class that he is familiar with. He's fought up there before, namely against Dustin Poirier. He took a lot of punishment in that fight, and Gaethje is much more powerful, in my personal opinion, than Dustin Poirier is. And Gaethje is able to be powerful and dole out more punishment over a sustained period of time than Dustin Poirier is. So I gotta go Justin Gaethje via finish. I think it'll be a later finish, maybe round 3, round 4. But do let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. It's been your boy, the combat consultant, the soundboard god, Jacob Cooperman. I'll see you on the next one.